You remember in the 60s when I invented the marsh? Well, now the time has come for me to update that smash. Since I've been out of the fright game for 52 odd years, I invited a new crew to spread spooky cheer. The first to arrive was Dr. Hannibal Lecter. He brought his own date and he seemed to respect her. They hit the dance floor with a jive and a jitter. Then he ripped off her face. He's pulling out her liver.
That's really gross.
Oh my God, what just happened?
He ate her face.
Yes, I know! I saw!
Speaking of saw,
I like to play disgusting games.
he broke his jaw.
That is way too graphic. I'm going to faint. Surely all the other guests won't be this rude. Like this classic monster, a scary hip dude. He's got a kooky style and a spooktastic look. Oh my God, he just hung the waiter on a meat hook. Why?
He's Leatherface.
He's cutting him up with a chainsaw.
It's what he does.
Who is Freddy Krueger?
He haunts your dreams.
Ooh, he sounds like a real spooker.
I murder teens. You can't escape me, bitch.
Language. In my day, the monsters would just give you a spook. Nowadays, it seems they all just want to make you puke. Ah, the human centipede. That sounds like a hit. Wait, the ones in back have to eat the front one's shit? Enough! The party's over. Everybody out. You all have no idea what Spooktober is about. Here comes the Wolfman. He'll show you how it's done. He knows how to be creepy, but he always keeps it fun. No! That was my friend. Why did he meet such a horrifying end? Is it too much to ask to have some monsters dance? It's really quite a hoot if you give it half a chance.
This guy won't let it go. I think it's rather sad. Guys, I feel guilty.
And I also feel bad.
Let's give him a couple moves. It's the least we can do.
Okay, places, everybody. And a one, and a two.
Look at us dance.
You did the monster dance?
Hey, look, jazz hands.
Don't twist too fast.
Our skulls are smashed. Oh, great. It's the girl from the ring.
Her heart is black.
Ooh, she really knows how to swing.
I wouldn't look directly at her face if I were you.
Ooh. Oh, well, we tried.
He died doing what he loved. Monster choreography. Hey guys, I know a game we could play. Guys, anyone? No?
Happy Halloween, everybody! My name is Jay Morales, and we're here with our special guest, Dabdon710. We're here with Faye Prophet. We're here with our usual and our best friend, co-host, Revelations. Happy Halloween!
Yeet.
Now on tonight's segment, everybody, we're going to be talking about the history of Halloween. A good friend, Revelations, will be talking to us about it. Stay tuned. Revelations, are you ready to go, sir?
Oh, I was just wondering if we're gonna be doing the jokes first, or if you wanted to do the actual information first.
Oh, information? What kind of information?
The history of Halloween.
Yes, give us the history of Halloween, sir.
So, as we all know, Halloween is, at least in a couple countries, is celebrated each year on October the 31st. In 2025, this year, it falls on a Friday. The tradition originated with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as a time to honor All Saints. Soon afterwards, All Saints' Day incorporated some of the traditions uh, of Samhain. The evening before was then known as All Hallows' Eve, and later became Halloween. Over time, it evolved into a day of activities like trick-or-treating, carving jack-o'-lanterns, festive gatherings, wearing costumes, and eating treats. And now we're going to get into the meat of it. Um, the Celts who lived 2,000 years ago, mostly in what is now Ireland, the UK, and northern France, celebrated theirs around New Year's, well, the New Year on November 1st. This day marked the end of summer and harvest, and the beginning of the dark and cold winter, a time that they associated with human death. They believed that on the night before the new year, the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became blurred. On the night of October the 31st, they celebrated Samhain, when it was believed that the ghosts of the dead returned. In addition to causing trouble and damaging crops, Celts thought that the presence of otherworldly spirits made it easier for druids or Celtic priests to predict the future for a people entirely dependent on the volatile natural world. These prophecies were an important source of comfort for the long, dark winter. To commemorate the event, Druids built huge sacred bonfires where people gathered to burn crops and animals as sacrifices to Celtic deities. During the celebration, the Celts wore costumes typically made of animal heads and skins and attempted to tell each other's fortunes. When the celebration was over, they relit their hearth fires, which they had extinguished earlier that evening from the sacred bonfire to help protect them during the coming winter. By AD 43, the Roman Empire had conquered most of said territory. During the 400 years it ruled the Celtic lands, two Roman festivals were combined with the traditional Celtic celebration of Samhain. The first was Ferelia, a day in late October when the Romans commemorated the passing of the dead. The second honored Pomona, the Roman goddess of fruit and trees. Pomona's symbol is the apple, and the incorporation of her celebration, of her celebration into Samhain most likely explains the honored tradition of bobbing for apples. On the 13th of May, 609, Pope Boniface IV dedicated the Pantheon in Rome to Christian martyrs, establishing the Catholic feast of All Martyrs' Day in the Western Church. Pope Gregory, my bad on that one again. Pope Gregory III later expanded said festival to include All Saints and Martyrs, and moved the observance from the 13th of May to the 1st of November. By the 9th century, the influence of Christianity had spread into Celtic lands, blending older Celtic rites and supplementing them with the Christian beliefs. In 1000, the Church made the 2nd of November All Souls' Day, a day to honor the dead. Many believe the Church created the holiday to replace the Celtic festival of the dead.
You still with us?
Yeah, I'm trying to read because it's being a little weird. And the article is acting a little funny. Here it is. All Souls Day. Okay, no, they're having a typo in it. The All Saints Day celebration was also called All Hallows Eve. Okay, no, another typo. Yeah,
We
okay.
blame it on the docket team, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, okay. So All Hallows or All Hallowmas from Middle English All Hallowmesse, meaning All Saints Day, and the night before, the traditional night of Samhain in the Celtic religion, began to be called All Hallows Eve and eventually Halloween. The celebration of Halloween was extremely limited in colonial New England because of the sorry about that again, rigid Protestant belief systems there. And as we all know, in New England and Protestants, the Salem witch trials, if you guys are familiar with that, their chat, was more commonly recognized in Maryland and the southern colonies, as the beliefs and customs of different European ethnic groups and American Indians meshed. A distinctly American version of Halloween began to emerge. The first celebrations included play parties, which were public events held to celebrate the harvest. Neighbors would share stories of the dead, tell each other's fortunes, dance, and sing. Colonial Halloween festivities also featured the telling of ghost stories and mischief making of all kinds. By the middle of the 19th century, annual autumn festivities were common, but Halloween was not yet celebrated everywhere in the country. In the second half of the 19th century, America was flooded with new immigrants. These new immigrants, especially millions of Irish fleeing the Irish potato famine, helped to popularize the celebration of Halloween nationally. Borrowing from European traditions, Americans began to dress up in costumes, go house to house asking for food or money, a practice that eventually became today's trick-or-treat tradition. Young women believed that on Halloween they could divine the name or appearance of their future husband by doing tricks with yarn, apple parings, or mirrors. That's weird. In the late 1800s, there was a move in America to mold Halloween into a holiday more about community and neighborly get-togethers than about ghosts, pranks, and witchcraft. At the turn of the century, Halloween parties for both children and adults became the most common way to celebrate the day. Parties focused on games, foods of the season, and festive costumes. Parents were encouraged by newspapers and community leaders to take anything frightening or grotesque out of Halloween celebrations. Because of these efforts, Halloween lost most of its superstitious and religious overtones by the beginning of the 20th century. By the 1920s and 1930s, Halloween had become a secular but community-centered holiday, with parades and town-wide Halloween parties as the featured entertainment. Despite the best efforts of many schools and communities, vandalism began to plague some celebrations in many communities during this time. By the 1950s, town leaders had successfully limited vandalism, and Halloween had evolved into a holiday directed mainly at the young. Due to the high numbers of young children during the 1950s baby boom, parties moved from town civic centers into the classroom or home, where they could be more easily accommodated. Between 1920 and 1950, the centuries-old practice of trick-or-treating was also revived. Trick-or-treating was a relatively inexpensive way for an entire community to share the Halloween celebration. In theory, families could also prevent tricks being played on them by providing the neighborhood children with small treats. Thus, a new American tradition was born, and it has continued to grow today. Americans spend on more, should not be and more than a staggering $11 billion annually on Halloween, making it the country's second largest commercial holiday after Christmas. Yeah, no surprise there. Speaking of commercial success, scary Halloween movies have a long history of being box office hits. Classic Halloween movies, including the Halloween franchise, based on the 1978 original film directed by John Carpenter and starring Donald Pleasence, Nick Castle, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Tony Moran. In Halloween, a young boy named Michael Myers murders his 17-year-old sister and is committed to jail, only to escape as a teen on Halloween night and seek out his old home and a new target. A direct sequel to the original Halloween was released in 2018, again starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Nick Castle. A sequel to that, Halloween Kills, was released in 2021, and a sequel to that, Halloween Ends, was released the following year. Considered a classic horror film down to its spooky soundtrack, Halloween inspired other iconic slasher films like Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th. More family-friendly Halloween movies include Hocus Pocus, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Beetlejuice, and It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. The American Halloween tradition of trick-or-treating probably dates back to the early All Souls' Day parades in England. During the festivities, poor citizens would beg for food and families would give them pastries called soul cakes, in return for their promise to pray for the family's dead relatives. The distribution of soul cakes was encouraged by the church as a way to replace the ancient practice of leaving food and wine for roaming spirits. The practice was referred to as going a souling, was eventually taken up by children who would visit the houses in their neighborhood and be given ale, food, and money. The tradition of dressing in costume for Halloween has both European and Celtic roots. Hundreds of years ago, winter was an uncertain, frightening season. Food supplies often ran low, and for many people afraid of the dark, the short days brought constant worry. On Halloween, when people believed ghosts returned to the earthly world, they feared encountering spirits if they went outside. To avoid being recognized, they wore masks after dark so ghosts would mistake them for fellow spirits. To keep ghosts away from their homes, people also placed bowls of food outside to appease the spirits and prevent them from coming in. Halloween has always been a holiday filled with mystery, magic, and superstition. It began as a Celtic and a summer festival during which people felt especially close to deceased relatives and friends. For these friendly spirits, they set places at the dinner table, left treats on doorsteps and along the side of the road, and lit candles to help loved ones find their way back to the spirit world. Today's Halloween ghosts are often depicted as more fearsome and malevolent, and our customs and superstitions have grown darker too. We avoid crossing paths with black cats, afraid that they might bring us bad luck. This idea has roots in the Middle Ages, when many thought witches transformed themselves into black cats to escape detection. We try not to walk under ladders for the same reason. This superstition may date back to the ancient Egyptians, who believed triangles were sacred, or it may simply come from the fact that walking under a leaning ladder is dangerous. Around Halloween, we're especially wary of breaking mirrors, stepping on cracks, or spilling salt. Halloween matchmaking and lesser known rituals is apparently something that is also a thing as well. Halloween traditions and beliefs that trick-or-treaters have forgotten. Many of the bygone rituals focused on the future rather than the past, and the living rather than the dead. In particular, many centered on helping young women identify their future husbands and reassuring them that they would someday, perhaps by next Halloween, be married. In 18th century Ireland, a matchmaking cook might hide a ring in her mashed potatoes on Halloween night, hoping to bring true love to whoever found it. In Scotland, fortune tellers recommend that an eligible young woman name a hazelnut for each of her suitors and then toss the nuts into the fireplace. The nut that burned to ashes, rather than popping or exploding, the story went, represented the girl's future husband. In some version, the opposite was true. The nut that burned away symbolized the love that would not last. Another tale that if a young woman ate a sweet mixture of walnuts, hazelnuts, and nutmeg before bed on Halloween night, she would dream of her future husband. Young women tossed apple peels over their shoulders, hoping the peels would land in the shape of her future husband's initials. Tried to read their futures by gazing at egg yolks floating in bowls of water, and stood before mirrors in darkened rooms, holding candles and looking over their shoulders for their husbands' faces. Other rituals were more competitive. At some Halloween parties, the first guest to find a bird during a chestnut hunt would be the first to marry. At others, first successful apple bobber would be the next down the aisle. Of course, whether asking for romantic advice or trying to avoid 7 years of bad luck, each of these Halloween superstitions depends on goodwill that the same spirits whose presence of the early Celts felt so keenly. And that is the end of the article, chat.
Wow. Wow. We just learned something new, chat. If you didn't know, now you know it now.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm
We love
trying to
new
get there.
information.
Huh?
Said we love information. Don't
We love information. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Revelations on the topic of Halloween and when it started and where we are today in 2025. Now we're going to move over to our good friends, Dab and the Prophet. I think they got a few things they would like to talk about that might not have to do with Halloween, but it's close to it. Gentlemen?
I'd like to think that the spirits are with us, even though we're not drinking them.
The spirits are with us.
Yes, always in the heart. Always
Yep,
in the heart.
Always in the heart. In the heart.
Do we need more? Because I can do more if no one else is going to step up to the plate.
Yeah, right?
I would love to talk.
Go ahead.
So I will sit here and talk about talking. I will mansplaining to everyone in the group.
We just lost 10% of our viewers.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. What if you femsplain femsplaining about mansplaining?
Please, let's not do this in front of Dab because then he's gonna go into a rampage.
I'll just turn the headset off again.
I can't say that word.
Chat, are you confused yet?
I would like to give a shout out to Eddie Weber, who has been the only one that actually came in and tuned in tonight. Thank you, Eddie Weber.
I was.
I would like to also give everybody a shout out who will watch this later today or at some point today. I hope. Hope you enjoy the Revelations story. Now we're gonna move it over to Dab. Dab, what about that story?
I think it's one you already covered. Actually, I did some more. Looking into it. And I think it's one you already covered.
All right. Well, anything else, boys? Anything else before we leave on this beautiful Halloween morning? Which, happy Halloween, everybody, again.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Well,
Sorry I got you canceled.
no,
Sorry I got you canceled. I guess
just,
I shouldn't be on the show.
I was just joking. No, it was comedy effect. Comedy effect.
Yeah, but why can't I watch it on YouTube anymore?
What?
Yeah, I was your only viewer.
No, you were in. I can't see who was in. I just know because Eddie Weber commented.
Yeah, it won't let me watch anymore.
What do you mean it won't let you watch anymore?
Are you still?
I'm
you still live?
I'm live.
Are you live?
I'm live. I just refreshed. Everybody, my good friend, the Prophet or is having technical difficulties. So I'm sorry about that.
Yes, yes.
Team.
Blame it on the docket team.
What the fuck?
Damn docket team.
Okay, there we go. I'm back on.
One of these
I'm
days,
back
the
on.
docket team will be available for the
views. For the views.
For the show. But for now, everybody, if you have them, light it up. If you're drinking this weekend, make sure to be safe.
Yes, drink responsibly.
But if you got it,
drive without.
Spark it up.
And if you're a parent, make sure to thoroughly check your kids' candy.
Always, 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 ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, please check their candy.
Check their candy. Always. Never know what people
Don't
freaking
just check
do.
it. Make sure you take that.
Especially if those shady guys. Make sure you just single out that candy. You know?
Yep.
The shady guys never know with them guys.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But do it away down just memorize.
Memorize.
I don't know. Oh my gosh. Shady guys are the worst.
Very.
You never know with them.
Very. But on that, before we sign off tonight, I've got one last story for you. Just a short one. Something to keep you company on your drive home after you get your candy. There's a small town just like this one. Quiet, peaceful, until Halloween night comes around. Every year, they say a woman walks that old country road alone. She never speaks, never looks up, just walks, step after step, down the same path where she lost her life 50 years ago. And if you happen to drive past her after midnight, she'll glance at your window just long enough for you to see your own reflection sitting in the passenger seat. So if you're driving home tonight after Halloween candy picking and you see someone walking by the side of the road, don't stop. Just keep going. And with that, we'll catch you Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Unbound. Back to our usual program, no ghost, just the truth. Until then, take care of yourself and take care of each other. And before we go, let's take a moment to talk about something real, something that matters beyond tonight's chills and stories. Halloween's a night where scares, but real fear, that's not something anyone should live with. If you're struggling with your mental health, feeling lost, or just need someone to talk to, please call 988, the Suicide in Crisis Lifeline. You are not alone, and help is always there. And if you or someone you know is living with domestic violence, reach out to 1-800-799-7233, the National Domestic Violence Hotline. There's safety, there's hope. You deserve both. From all of us at Unbound, I'm Jay Morales with my co-host Revelations and our special guests, The Prophet and Dabdom710, wishing you a peace, strength, and safe Halloween night. Keep your lights on and your hearts open. Unbound, signing off. Take it easy, guys.
Good night.
Yeet.
Yeet. Alright, y'all. It's almost 12:30.